For more positive energy, more positive vibes, go ahead and hit subscribe. What is going on, everybody? What a great day. What a great day. Oh, snap, I kicked the camera. My bad. Man, do I have a video for you guys today? I was sitting back and I was just going through my spiral, because that's where I put all of my different ideas and stuff like that. Especially also when it comes to YouTube, the different things that I need to address and, want to talk about and different things like that. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is like the perfect time to talk about this because, keep in mind, I'm not a doctor. Did I work in the medical field a little bit? Yes, I did, but that's not my thing. So something that I do definitely want to talk about is a real life situation that I went through myself, okay? And I think right now, especially with so many of us who are supposed to be in isolation, we're not supposed to be around anybody, we're not supposed to be around our friends, family. Nobody, just us. No, but honestly, you guys all know what's going on right now with this whole virus thing going on. We are supposed to be pretty much secluded by ourselves. And that can be extremely overwhelming for a lot of people out there. So in today's video, something that I really want to talk about is vitamin D deficiency. Guys, vitamin D deficiency it's insane the things that it can do to you, okay? Here, actually, I'm going to go ahead and tell you about some of the things. Vitamin D deficiency symptoms. A poor immune system, fatigue and tiredness, bone, muscle, back pain, hair loss. There's a lot of guys who watched my channel for me using trying to get my hair back, me using the men's Hims treatment kit, okay? And just to let you, I just want to say that again, okay? Vitamin D deficiency symptoms. One of them is hair loss, guys. You guys could be losing, guys and ladies can be losing your hair just being deficient in vitamin D. That's crazy, okay? Bone loss, poor wound healing, meaning like, whenever you get scratches, cuts, different things like that, it takes an excessive time frame for you to heal, and depression. Vitamin D deficiency absolutely will cause you to feel depressed. All right, so with that being said, I'm definitely going to go ahead and just get on into story time. So a little backstory about me, about myself is I'm from Texas, born and raised here in Texas. I love me some Texas. Okay, and with that being said, anybody who knows anything about Texas, you definitely know that it's hot. It gets hot out here. The sun is always shining. That is definitely a big part of Texas. About a handful of years ago, I had a great opportunity. Well, what seemed like a great opportunity. It was. For that time, it was a great opportunity, okay? I was working with Sprint, the cell phone company. It was a franchise. I had a great opportunity where I could relocate. I was going to have more money, okay? It all came down to money. I was going to get more money. So that's the reason why I went for it. So I did go ahead and make the switch. I moved to Wisconsin right before it was their winter time. Like winter was coming up. Winter was coming up for them. Yeah, winter was already there. What am I talking about? Because I remember whenever I landed, it was already snow everywhere. Okay, with that being said, I was there in Wisconsin. I'm from Texas. I went to Wisconsin. It's a difference. We're still here in the United States, but it's such a huge difference, and I just didn't realize until I was there. I was there, I'm working just non-stop. It was insane how much work I was, putting in. And, I just started getting, I just started feeling the blues, honestly. I just started feeling like, I'm not doing good enough. I was telling myself I'm not good enough. I started to get real moody, real irritable. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, you came up here just for work. You don't have any friends, family around here. You're just working, right? I try to chunk it up to that, and that, I'm just in a very high stressed environment. Guys, when I tell you, I felt like I was going crazy, for real. And then it got to where it's like, okay, my mood swings, like I started to do things that just isn't in my character. Like I'm not someone who's easily aggravated or anything like that, especially with the position that I was in. I'm the boss, you know what I mean? I tell a lot of the other employees what to do. Nobody's really telling me what to do. I'm running the show. So it's like, to be the unhappy that I was just didn't make sense. And I dealt with it for a little bit, but finally it was just like, what you have to address this. What's going on? So I go to the doctor, I get my blood tested, we're doing some tests and just different things like that now because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Turns out I was vitamin D deficiency. So, it all started to add up. It all started to make sense. That's whenever I really started to do a lot of my research and see the different things that can actually do to you. Being deficient just alone in vitamin D is insane, man. So many people who are depressed, so many people who have anxiety, so many people, even with bipolar disorders, a lot of times that stems from vitamin D deficiency. So, absolutely, I was like, well, let me start taking my vitamin D, and get that into my system. And sure enough, after maybe like a good solid 2 months of getting the right dosage, because that does matter too, but I finally leveled out, everything was good. And then, I came back to my senses and figured out that just wasn't even for me. And I came back down here to Texas. And while I was down here in Texas, what happened was I was still on that same amount, dosage-wise, that I was while I was in Wisconsin down here in Texas, where the sun is bright, beaming, shining, doesn't matter what time of day it is. And, my bad, guys, my nose is leaking a little bit. But, so I came back down here and I was still using the same dosage. And then what happened is I started to get fatigued, tired, all over again. And I'm like, well, what's going on now? Go back to a doctor here in Houston, Texas. And they tell me that I'm vitamin D toxicity. Okay, so now I'm toxic. My levels are at toxic levels because I'm taking too much vitamin D. So I had to get that, all organized again. And ever since then, of course, I've pretty much just stayed here in Texas since then. But everything has been on a better path. Now, so I definitely had to tell you guys that story because, I went through that. And I remember having, by the way, I didn't even mention this, I had a panic attack. That was something else. I had never in my life experienced a panic attack. And if you've ever experienced a panic attack, you absolutely feel like you're going to die. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm not one to freak out. So in that moment, I remember how scared I was, how crazy I felt. I really did not feel like myself, and I absolutely felt like I was losing it. So it's like, I had to tell this because it was insane, the different things that were happening to me. A lot of things were bad, and most of it stemmed from just vitamin D deficient. So definitely had to get on here and tell you guys about that story because so many of us are in isolation. So many of us are not out and about in the sun, and that can be very hard because then what's going to happen is you're going to start having the blues. Your mood's going to start dropping. You're going to start, and then it's just going to be negative. It's going to be a bunch of negative stuff. So before you get there, or if you happen to be there already and you just don't know why, you don't know what's going on, but you're just so aggravated, so annoyed, everything's bothering you, I would definitely say start with, taking a vitamin D supplement. If you can, absolutely go to your doctor. Do your test, see where you're at. But if you can't do that, then go ahead and just purchase yourself a vitamin D supplement. So something else that I do want to show you guys is, it says the recommended dosage. Let's see here, is general dosage usually is it shows is about 4,000 IUs per day. That's for people who have depression. If you are depressed, or if you're somebody who tends to have those blues-like feelings, that's where you would want to start. It says on average 1,500 to 2,000 IUs per day. That's where I am now. I'm 2,000 IUs per day. Before, whenever I was deficient, okay? So I was trying everything I could. I went ahead and just started at taking 10,000 IUs per day because I really was trying to get back to a healthier level. And that's where I really made the big mistake. I was taking that amount of vitamin D even whenever I came back here to Texas where the sun is always out. It just didn't make sense. So definitely also do your research on that because depending on where you're at, that's also going to matter of how much you need. So guys, if you're feeling blue, you're feeling a little like this isolation starting to get to you, understand you don't have to be unhappy. Even though you're in the house all the time, you don't have to be unhappy. You don't have to be in those negative thoughts. There's other things that you can do. So, if you're not taking supplements, if you're not really doing any of that, if your diet's poor, like, definitely start making those changes. You know what I mean? Because it's baby steps, but once you climb a few of them steps, you really start to see some great things happen for yourself. All right, guys, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoy. For more positive energy, more positive vibes, go ahead and hit subscribe.